Hello and welcome to the English edition of the Scan Daily News. My name is Garis Duma. The head of state has decided to change the course of public debate on the new law on the status of civil servants by declaring the government's normative act unconstitutional and push its applicability. In a letter to members of parliament, the president argues that the act violates at least 2 articles of the Constitution. The head of state goes against the majority by presenting a decree that brings down the normative act of government. This pushes the applicability of the new law on the status of civil servants by 6 months without waiting for the decision of the Constitutional Court. Unlike previous judgments that have taken a second look at approved initiatives in Parliament, this time the head of state explained to members of Parliament through a letter the reasons why he disagrees with the initiative, for which the political parties have hotly debated in Parliament and from party pulpits. In his letter to MPs, the head of state argues the decision on the grounds that such a law could not be changed by a normative act, on the fact that this case does not appear to be an emergency. Following the arguments for deputies, the head of state highlights the normative act of the government as contrary to Articles 81 and 84 of the Constitution, as there is no consent from the President for such an act. The Albanian government officially confirms that our country is one of the countries assessed to contribute to the destruction of Syrian chemical weapons. The head Albanian diplomat Ditmir Bushati said that there is still no concrete decision, as there have been not any discussions on the nature of the contribution that our country can offer in this process. For the first time, the government is whitewashing what is happening with the Syrian chemical weapons disposal, where our country has been designated by the international community as a potential location for the implementation of this process. The Foreign Minister Ditmir Bushati confirms that for this purpose there is a formal request for Albania, but has denied disclosure about the kind of contribution that our country will give in this regard. This decision, according to him, will be subject to domestic institutional procedures, which is decided by the Assembly. Although the minister emphasized that there is no cause for alarm in this issue, Minister Bushati confirmed that the Prime Minister is involved in intense discussions and direct communication with the Secretary of State on the issue. The news published in the international media about the possibility that Syria's chemical weapons are destroyed in Albania has caused much tension in the country. Civic groups in the country have launched protests and undertook signing a petition where the Albanian government is requested to reject the proposal of international destruction of chemical weapons in our country's territory. Women entrepreneurs are seeking more space and support for their work. They think that the government should provide special funds and encourage financial institutions to lend to their implementation of businesses. The lack of support with soft loans or easing policies, but also with market products, are the main concerns that women entrepreneurs have in developing their economic activity. According to the representatives, the government should provide special funds tailored to the development of women entrepreneurship and encourage financial institutions to lend in their favor, as the empowerment of women would help the economic development of our country. These have been key concerns derived from a study conducted by the Association of Professional Women, Business and Crafts, for the environmental assessment of female entrepreneurship in Albania. Present at the presentation of the study, Deputy Minister of Education and Sports, Nora Malaj, said that without an education and vocational training, women cannot have a sustainable economic development. According to Instat statistics, women currently hold 25.7% of the approximately 100,000 businesses in the country, while 18% of private business managers are women. Again, in September, loans increased slightly to 24.3%. According to the Bank of Albania, the rate of losses has historically reached a high level of 11.2%. Problematic loans in September experienced a slight increase at 24.3%. According to data from the Bank of Albania, the level of non-performing loans over a month's period increased by 0.1%. What was noticed was that the rate of losses has reached a historically high level of 11.2%, while, on the other hand, substandard loans reached down to 9.1%, which was the lowest level of the past 2 years. These figures show that the last quarter displayed fewer problematic loans. The package of measures taken by the Bank of Albania may have contributed to this effect, which excludes obligation to automatically record loans that are in the process of being restructured as problematic loans. On the other hand, the increase in lost loans at historically high levels seems to induce a cleaning process of bank balances from a good portion of these loans. Meanwhile, the coverage of reserve funds for loan losses amounted to 16.1%, a historical record again. High costs for provisioning has brought for the first time since 1999 quarterly losses for the banking system. The system closed the third quarter with a negative result in the aggregate amount of 1.3 billion lek. A large portion of local products pose a risk to consumer health due to the lack of control over production and marketing of hygiene and sanitation standards. About 53% of survey participants for RTV Scan feel that meat is the most dangerous product. Meanwhile, a few days ago, the Ministry of Agriculture and the District of Tirana Prefecture have decided to reactivate the task force set up for a year ago to monitor the meat markets. Meat products turn out to be the most dangerous foods for Albanians. At least so think about 53% of the participants in this week's poll on the website of RTV Scan. About a year ago, the government launched an action to discipline the slaughter of meat and its marketing across the country. A task force was initiated that had the objective of removing all illegal meat selling points on national roads and on city streets, which clearly constituted inadequate hygiene and sanitary conditions. At the conclusion of this task force, a significant proportion of these slaughterhouses were closed and the rest of them were licensed. But, again, it seems that the same problematic situation has begun again. Just a few days ago, the Ministry of Agriculture decided to reactivate this task force, as well as the mayor of Tirana. Currently, there are no controlled slaughterhouses in residential areas. They use unconditionalized criteria, and this situation is due to the lack of the controls, investments, and implementing clear strategies in the sector, which is almost entirely informal. The European Union requires an increased capacity of utilization of Albanian waters. Higher standards and modern fishing techniques will affect the growth of the welfare of the country and ensure environmental protection. With this objective, the European Union's Commissioner for Maritime Policy and Fisheries, Maria Damanakis, has held meetings with the Ministers of Agriculture and Transportation, Edmond Panariti and Edmond Hajinasto. The European Union requires an increased capacity of utilization of Albanian waters. Higher standards and modern fishing techniques will affect the growth of the welfare of the country and ensure environmental protection. With this objective, the European Union's Commissioner for Maritime Policy and Fisheries, Maria Damanakis, has held meetings with the Ministers of Agriculture and Transportation, Edmond Panariti and Edmond Hajinasto. The meeting discussed the possibility of establishing a fishing port in the tourist city of Shëngjin, as well as a site for ship repairs. Also, during the discussion, it was agreed upon to cooperate with the EU to develop a strategy for the development of the fisheries sector in the Adriatic and Ionian Sea. The Minister of Transport, Edmond Hajinasto, said that the port of Shëngjin has great regional potential and private investment in infrastructure for the development of the area will be supported. During the meeting with the Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Panariti, the EU Commissioner, sought economic incentives for increased fishing activity and fulfillment of EU standards in this sector. The fish processing industry should work with local raw materials as well as exploring the possibility of establishing a specialized fish market, said EU Commissioner Maria Damanakis. Thank you for following our English edition. My name is Garis Duma.